Hello all. A little bit late. Apologies for that. We are utilizing a few new things, have been having a few little glitches in my system. Oh, what fun. Anyway, so here we are, live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Katrina Garcia with KG Website Designs, as you can see to right here, KG Website Designs. And we are the Business G-Spot Podcast. Yay! Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. We have a lot to cover today because we're going to go over a lot of stuff. But before we go there, I want to thank our sponsors, which is, if I can see my finger, there you go, Tim Gillette from Simple Easy Marketing, and of course the other sponsor, KG Website Designs. And I want to welcome everybody, hoping you're enjoying your day. And I want to let you know a little bit about me. My name is Katrina Garcia with KG Website Designs, and what we do is we help overwhelmed entrepreneurs take control of their business through their website and make more money and get more leads and all that good stuff. So if you ever need anything in that respect, by all means, get in touch with us at www.kgwebsitedesigns.com. Very, very easy. So hopefully you'll get in touch with us. So today, and for some of you, you may get glazed over, and I apologize, but I'm going to try and dumb this down. I don't want to say dumb, but make it as easy as possible for you to understand. Because this is something that I have a lot of clients that are always asking me about, and that is SEO. Now, for those that don't know what SEO is, that is search engine optimization. And then you may be saying, okay, so what does that mean to me? Well, search engine optimization is essentially, it is an algorithm that is out there that essentially takes all this data and so forth from various different websites based on the parameters and the rules that they've set up, and it ranks your website on each of the search engines, whether that be Mozilla Firefox or Bing or Safari. These are the main ones, Chrome. Any one of those, you will notice that when you go into any one of your search engines, you will see that there's a bunch of businesses at the top. Now you're going to notice, especially with Chrome, that there's a couple of them where there's kind of a line below that. They're paying top dollar to be at that top. And that's usually with ads and a bunch of other pieces, but that's really expensive. The other ones below that are all what they call organic reaches. So what we're going to kind of go over today with you is how you can kind of get that organic reach and getting your website set up that way. Now you may be saying, Katrina, I didn't set up my website, nor do I plan on setting up my website. I get it. I totally get it. But I am a full opponent on the fact that you need to be wise into what you're doing. You need to know what's going on before you even have somebody do your website. And this is the reason why sometimes it kind of irks me a little bit when clients, first thing comes out of their mouth before they say, build me a website. They say, can you do SEO? So this is why I'm going over this topic, and we're going to make it as easy as possible. Trust me, if you don't want to know about this, that's great. But you still need to be in the know before you hire somebody else. Because the thing is there's a lot of web designers, web producers, whatever you want to call them, webmasters that are out there that are charging a fortune for SEO. And these are some simple things that you can ask your web designer if they put these things in place. If they're really good at what they do, it will be kind of a no-brainer or a natural thing. Or they may charge you for that service to put all these pieces together. Also, there are other options out there where there are platforms and so forth that they put together that helps them with these that they may charge you for as well. But like I said, this is something that I want you to know about, because the more you know, the better decisions you can make. And yes, I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to lose place, and I want to make sure that I cover everything that we're going to cover today. So the first thing that we want to talk about is, first of all, the one thing you really want to know, the key thing when it comes to SEO is your keywords. Now, how do you come up with those keywords? Now, there are a couple of programs out there you can pay for and that type of thing, but the easiest way to find out how people would search your business is to go on Google and start typing in some keywords or words. So, for example, we do website design, we do marketing and that type of thing. So somebody might type in websites, and then you type in websites, and then you're going to get a bunch of other words that the predominant people have been searching based on websites. Or you might think, okay, maybe they're not looking at websites, maybe they're looking up how to build a website. And then you might look up and see what those keywords are. So based on those keywords, and when I say keywords, I mean how they're looking you up in your industry, whether that be insurance or real estate, or like I said, website design, doesn't matter. These are how you get the keywords based on how your audience is looking up your industry. And that's how you go into Chrome. You just start typing in some words. Insurance, see what comes up. So this is, and the one thing I want to make a note on this, because I know we've talked about this a lot in regards to security, that you always want to use an incognito when you're perusing any particular search engine, whether that be Bing or the other ones. But when you're looking up keywords, you don't want to be incognito because you're not going to get a lot. So make sure that you're not incognito when you're looking these up. If you're security conscious and you're always going into incognito, and that's for another show altogether, but that's just a tip, just so you know. So, and these are going to go through a couple of things. So the first one we talked about, keywords. And the only way to find those keywords is to go into Google and just start searching based on what your industry is, or based on some of the questions your clients are asking you. This is how they're going to look you up. And these are the keywords that you want to have on your website. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to bloat the website, as well as you want to make sure that your web designer does not do the same thing, because Google's getting smart to that. They've been smart to that for a while. And if you bloat it with a bunch of keywords, they're going to put you a lot farther down the list. So make sure you're not bloating with a bunch of keywords. And here's what I mean. Say, like, for instance, that you're an insurance person and you're in the Westlake area, or you're in the New Mexico area, whatever. So you keep putting throughout the text all over the place, I'm an insurance person in the New Mexico. If you're looking for an insurance person in the New Mexico, if insurance is what you're looking for in the New Mexico, if you're looking, it's a little bit bloated. So it needs to be relevant. And that's going to our next key piece when it comes to SEO. And we've talked about this, is having relevant content geared towards your audience. And when I say that, that doesn't mean you talk about your accolades and how wonderful you are. You're talking about their pain points. What are they having in regards to pain points, and how you're helping with that gap? That's showing that you're talking about relevant content for your audience, and you need to know who your audience is. That too is another thing. That too is another topic for another time. But that's another thing. So we talked about keywords, relevant content. Those two things right there are really key SEO pieces that you can have in your website. And yes, if you're not building it or not, and you're just joining us, you can still talk to your webmaster about this. The other thing is images. A lot of people don't really take advantage of this. A lot of times you will have some images that you might send to your webmaster or your web designer, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of times it's a gobbledygook. It's a bunch of numbers and letters all mixed together. That doesn't tell Google anything. So you want to have a good descriptor for that image that basically says what that image is. Like, for instance, we have our logo here. So we would state, this is the Business G-Spot logo. Simple. You know exactly what it is. So you really want to be key in your descriptors when it comes to your images, so that you can optimize it much better. And also the other thing when I talk about optimize is we're talking about compressing your images, because sometimes they're really big images, and the bigger the image, the longer it's going to take for your website to load. And that's something that you want to set up as well, or your webmaster is making sure that you have some type of an optimizational plugin, platform, whatever that may be, based on what they utilize or what you would utilize. And that's how you want to make sure that your images are optimized. So we've gone through 3 things now: keywords, relevant content, and image descriptions, as well as optimizing those images. Now, the next thing is your URLs for each of your pages. You may say, okay, what does that matter? Well, it matters a lot because you want people to understand what each of your pages consist of. Now, let's say like a basic website, you're going to have your home page, you're going to have contact page, you're going to have about us page, you're going to have e-bike or an event page. Whatever you're doing, you're going to have those various different pages within your website. So with those URLs, you want to make sure that they're consistent. So in other words, let's say that your website name and then welcome to our site. So they know, oh, okay, that's probably a home page. They're welcoming to the site. And you want to make it easy and concise when you're putting these up. And you want it to be a little bit different, because that's part of being out there, is you want to make sure that you're different than your competitor. So everybody uses homepage, contact us, about us. They all utilize the same thing. So jazz it up a bit. For instance, your website name.com, get to know us. They know that's about us. So it's a way to kind of put that across, and that's the URL. And that's what you'll be naming each of your pages. So you'll have your domain name and then your page name. Now, keep in mind, I know this is something that maybe you may not be interested in, but you want to make sure that when you're talking to somebody who's setting up your website, asking them, how are you going to set up my pages? What are you going to do to set them up, and how you're going to set it up so it's going to be easy for my clients to realize what's on those pages and what it is. So those are things you're going to want to know up front, and find out how they're going to name that. You may want to change it up. Now, the other thing is you want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly. And when I say mobile friendly, what I mean is, I know you see, they call them the hamburger bars. You see the bars at the top where it's your navigation piece on a mobile piece. You'll click on that and we'll show you all the navigation. Some people put too much in that navigation. So then they'll see this part, and then there's one here, and then more here and more here. So you want to make it easy for them to manipulate. You want to make sure your images aren't too big. Sometimes they'll be cut off because it's too big. So you want it to be mobile friendly. Also, you want to make sure that the links are working on your mobile. Are the links working for being able to call you? That's one big thing that a lot of people don't think about. They think they put their contact information on there, and yes, they've got their email address, which is an easy link, but are they actually linking the phone number so that when you're on the phone, you can click on it and automatically dials, instead of you saying, really, I have to copy and paste this? This is a pain in the ass. Making it as easy for your clients. That's all part of SEO. So it has to be mobile friendly. The other thing is, we talked about this a little bit, is your page speed. And how long is it taking for your website to come up? If it's taking a long time and somebody's going, hello, they're going to move on. So you want it to be as quick as possible. And I will show you a resource below that I will provide you after this. And when we send this out, if you didn't see it live, but I will provide you the resource below, which is a website grader. They'll go through and it'll tell you whether your website is mobile friendly, whether the speed is for mobile as well as desktop, if there are certain things that you might have to change. If you find that and you're not at the speed that you feel you should be, send it over to your webmaster and have them look at it. It's maybe something they need to be looking at, and maybe they can change it for you. Now, the other thing, and this is a little bit, how do we say this, technical, but that's okay. Don't let it scare you or anything. And it's called the XML sitemap. Basically, all that means is it's a map that says how many pages you have and what those pages are named. That's all it is. And that really helps with your SEO as well, so that now when you've got that, the search engines are going through and they're saying, okay, here's a website, has 5 pages. These are the pages about home, contact us, look at what we have to offer, services. Got it. And now they'll know how, with the algorithm, how to rank it and what to look at. So it'll rank much higher if you've got an XML sitemap, and your webmaster should know this. If not, most of the time, when you're setting one up, for the most part, it will usually be within the system, or they'll have plugins that you can utilize. So, and you're doing the DIYs, whether that be Wix, Squarespace, Weebly, a lot of those are set up that way as well. Excuse me, I don't want to sneeze. Oh, anyway, but it makes it pretty easy for you to find. With the DIYs, what it is you'll go into your SEO options. Excuse me, if you're doing it yourself, and it'll ask you, do you want this page to be seen by search engines? That's basically what they're saying is being added to the XML sitemap. And then, of course, if you're into WordPress, there are other ways you can set that up as well. But that's something that I said you need to talk to your webmaster about. The more you know about this, the better you're going to be when you talk to somebody to hire them on. That's why I'm educating you here. Granted, it's a little bit technical, maybe over your head, but this is stuff you need to know. Next one is the SSL certificate. Because the thing is now, I can't remember how long ago, I think it's been about 4 years maybe, the search engines will not even open up your website if you don't have the HTTPS. Now, we've talked about this before when it comes to the SSL certificate, and that's what that is. That if your site, HTTPS, and then your site name, then you know it's secure. If it's only HTTP, then you know it's not secure. And a lot of times, Chrome or Mozilla Firefox being, and I believe Safari will say, sorry, not a safe site. Do you sure you want to go there? So that's something that you want to have in place, because it's another great SEO option, because it's showing that your site is secure for your audience. The other one is your navigation for your menu, basically the navigation menu. And you want to make sure that this is, we talked about this before in regards to your mobile friendly. You want to make sure that it's easy to read for your navigation on your desktop as well as your mobile. Now, I've seen desktops where they have so many pages that on the navigation, you've got one here, and you got another one here, then this sub one here, and this sub one here, and sub. It's just too much. So you want to make it as easy as possible. So the easier you can make your navigation or menu, the better you will be. Now, these are some cool ones that you can always do too. And I'm going to talk about, there's the backlinks, and then there's the internal links. So the backlinks are basically when you are linking to another source, another website. So say, like, for instance, with your social media, you got your Facebook, Instagram, when you're linking to those, you're linking to a bigger source. And because you're linking to a bigger source, the algorithms are looking at this and saying, oh, they're linked to another source, so they're legit. The other things you can be linking to is maybe vendors or contractors you deal with, or maybe resources that you work with and you get discounts, or maybe you've got an online shop that you're linking with. So these are all of your backlinks. Also, when you're doing blogs and articles that you've, say, like you've read an article and you're doing a blog based on that, always backlink to that. So you don't have any copy infringement, but it's also linking it back. And you can also ask them to link it back to yours. That helps as well, because you have the backlinks. And then you've got, like I talked about, well, you've got client and vendors, you can link to them. Now, the internal links are those that are within your site. So for instance, say like you've got a blog and you're talking about an event that you've got coming up, link it to that event within your site. Or say like you've got on your home page, you've got an ebook that you just wrote and you want them to go see it, link it on your page or link it to Amazon, whatever. But internal links, those are ways you can internally link those. Another key thing is through your social media. And here's the way you want to do this is a lot of times people have freebies. So you want to note those in your social media if you're going to be pushing across the freebie, letting people know about it. And then link them directly to the freebie to your site. Don't make them look for it. Make sure you link it directly to it. Or maybe you're talking about an event or that you've got your ebook coming out or your published book, whatever. Link it back to the source. But the other thing too is you can also put your blog on there and link it back to the original blog. Just do a little bit of a synopsis, like a quick few sentences, and then link it back to your site, because then you're linking them back so that now they're going to see more about you. And that's what's a real key thing when you're going into social media. It's more organic. The other thing is the biggest thing that a lot of people don't do is you want to continually update your website. That means updating your images, your text. If you've got a new freebie, new resources you may have on board, new pictures that are for yourself. You've got new headshots. I mean, essentially, you should be getting new headshots. They say once a year, especially with realtors. They're the most guilty. Have you not seen a realtor's card? You look at the card and you look at them and say, these are a little old, don't you think? So you want to be consistent. So you should be getting new headshots at least once a year, if not every other year. And then you want to change those on your website. Whether you're doing it or your webmaster, these are things you want to change. You also always want to go through your website. Even if you haven't built it, look at the content, look at the images. Do they still resonate with what you're doing? Maybe you're changing up your services. This is a great way to put things across. Plus, Google looks at it and says, okay, they're not putting it up there and they're just forgetting about it. They're actually going in and making changes on a regular basis. Another key thing you can do is your Facebook feed, because it's constantly changing. That's one thing you can put on your site as well. That helps as well. But Google's still kind of hip to that. So they still want you to go in and making sure that you're updating your content. Now, when it comes to SEO, we covered a whole bunch. So let me go through what we covered. One we talked about was your audience and your industry and finding your keywords. That's one. Two is making sure that you have relevant content based to your audience. Three is your image descriptors, descripting the images of what they are and optimizing those so that you can press them. Two is your URLs for your pages, making it easy for them to find them and easy to see and readable. Five, I can't count. Five is making it mobile friendly. 6 is the speed of your site, if it's coming up quickly or not. 7 is your XML sitemap. So that way it basically tells all the search engines how many how many pages you have in your website and what they consist of. And that's what the XML sitemap is. 8 is your SSL certificate, making sure that it's secure, that HTTPS that we talked about. 9, I know there's a lot, your navigation and menu, making sure that it's easy to utilize and it's concise and it's not bloated with a bunch of pages. 11 is your backlinks and your internal links. Backlinks meaning you're linking back to another source. Internal links are you're linking within your site. You've got then your social media linkage, linking to your social media in regards to if you're sending across a blog and you want to point it back to that blog or a freebie, that's pointing them back to your website. I think we're at 13. And then of course there's updating your website on a regular basis. So that I know that's a lot to go through. I know it's a lot and you're thinking to yourself, I really don't care about this. I'm not setting up my website, but I'm going to go through it step by step in the notes. So you will have it in the future. And these are the things you want to ask your webmaster or anybody else that's going to be building your site. Don't just go up to them and say, do you do SEO? Don't ask that. Ask them this question. What do you do when it comes to SEO? How do you put that in place? What are the key things that you're doing for my site to make it SEO friendly? What are you doing? Then based on what they're telling you is based on whether they're going to know what they're talking about or they're just saying, I don't know, keywords, I guess, a couple other things. See what they know. So that way you know if you're getting the right person for the job. So that's why I'm telling you this. I know it's technical, but you need to know these things so you hire the right people. People that are educated make the best decisions. And I'm trying to educate you here as a business owner so that you know what SEO is about, what it is, what it consists of. So these are questions you can ask your webmaster if you're not going to do it yourself. So like I said, whether you build it or not, and keep this in mind too, SEO doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. So the longer your website is up and the more you're putting things in place, the more the search engines are going through and the algorithms are seeing everything and saying, okay, well, we got that. Okay, we got that. Okay, we got that. Okay, we got that. You'll start to see your site go up a little higher. If you wanted to go up even higher, talk to your webmaster and ask them, hey, what can we do to get it up a little higher without spending too much money? Got any ideas? So making sure that you put these things in place so that way you know. And I'm also going to do a resource for you as well in regards to, there's a bunch of SEO analysis tools that's in this article I get from HubSpot. Love HubSpot and their blog. And I will put that down below as well so that you have that. So we're at, we have truncated this show from an hour to 30 minutes because we realize you have a lot of things to do. So we want to make it as short and sweet for you as possible. So knowing that, I want to thank you for watching us at the Business G-Spot podcast. And I want to thank our sponsors, KG Website Design, as well as Tim Gillette with Simple Easy Marketing. So don't forget to join us next week because we'll have another great topic for you to learn from and hopefully get some key incentives in what you need going forward for your business. So I hope you found this helpful, SEO 101, and we will put a lot of the links that we talked about down below and we'll post that out to you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to join us next